gosh, it's Paul!
Hello. I hope that this thing now is actually working. I don't know, like, y'all, I don't know if this mic is working. I don't know what's going on. If it's not, then we'll just rely on the iPhone situation. But without further ado, hi everyone. My name is Mpho Kasana, and this is Mama. Welcome. So this is not the first time I'm doing an episode, or this is not the first time I'm doing this. For those of you who have been following Momo Mouth, the podcast, you know that we've existed now for 3 years on other platforms where there are no visuals. We still are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But we decided to bring it to YouTube and have the visuals because everybody's doing them, and also because I think it offers a different sort of engagement and also caters to people who maybe want to see something as opposed to just listen. So yeah. And I genuinely hope that this does what it's supposed to. If not, listen, the iPhone situation also does the situation. So we'll hope for the best. But anyways, so this is the first ever episode on YouTube. Okay, so I want to first start by stating, or rather explaining, what Momo Mouth is. What a journey it actually has been with Momo Mouth. Oh my gosh, it's been a journey. Momo Mouth, like I said, started 3 years ago, and it was born out of a need to express myself in a manner that I hadn't before. I diarized my feelings and thoughts. It previously was a platform that I used to document my personal journey with mental health and just really how I felt about things and perceived things generally. It was a way of me healing, and I think repeating things sometimes helps you heal, and so I think the platform did that for me. But over time, before that even, I'd always wanted to start a business of some sort. I've always wanted to start a business in entertainment. There are many. There's like a plethora of business that I want to start that I have on my diary, mood boards. We haven't gotten there yet, but I felt Momo Mouth could be the start. And so in 2024, last year, I decided to take Momo Mouth from just being a podcast to being an event company. And I negated the podcast part of it for a bit, And so I incorporated the company. We became a PTY Ltd. And so the idea behind it was I wanted to start a company, right, that was going to do events that served as an alternative to what we already have in, what we already get from the nightlife side of things. So I didn't want this to be just a nightlife thing. I wanted it to be what is this? A market thing as well, or like not even a market. Like I wanted it to be, no, I don't know why I said market. But I wanted it to be like a daytime event type of thing, right? But also host different events, but also during the daytime, and also in the nighttime, but specifically in the daytime, specifically outdoors. And this is not a new concept, but I felt we needed, specifically for where I live, for specifically for where home is. I felt we needed that here. But then coming back home, I realized that actually there are quite a few people who are doing it, and they're doing it quite well. Do I believe that they serve everyone? Absolutely not. I still think that there is a gap in the market, which leads to my next point. Then I decided that, then I realized, trying to branch into the space, that there are quite a lot of barriers. There are quite a lot of barriers to entry, and I felt very frustrated as a creative, but also as an entrepreneur, because I knew that these problems couldn't be unique to me. I knew that somebody out there must have experienced the same thing. Somebody must have experienced the same thing, and yet I don't even know those people. We don't have spaces as creatives to come together and discuss these things. And so I decided, oh, actually, that's it, right? That is it. That's the problem I want to solve with Momo Mouth. And so then we went back to the drawing board and tweaked a few things, refined it a bit, refined the business model, and we decided that this was going to be a hub for creatives and entrepreneurs, right? Like creatives who want to capitalize of their creativity or their creations. And so we decided that we were going to do niche. We still did, definitely keeping the event side of things, except now they are now extremely, not extremely, but they're not intentionally niche, right? They are quite niche. They are for creatives to come together and have a good time, but also to come together and network, to come together and form community, right? So that there's a community amongst us as creatives, so that we know, so that information is readily available, even if it's not through third parties, but with amongst ourselves. That you could ask so and so for this, you could ask so and so for that. Or if you're going through something that you're going through for the first time, maybe within your business, then that somebody else has gone through it, and you go ask them. And this also just solves this thing of people who have money already to get more money. Because I think, again, discussing the barriers to entry, a lot of the people who do well where I live, right, and as entrepreneurs, especially within entertainment, are people who already had some sort of income or money, or they started somewhere financially. They already had something in the bank, and it might not have been a lot, but it was substantial. And so I'm trying to also, create an environment where, again, creativity and creatives flourish. We're trying to nurture that, and also inspire creatives to create. And so, of course, these events, in as niche as they are, and in as much as they're intended for creatives, we still need consumers. And so they're open to the public as well. They're open to the public for people to come and enjoy and consume the art, and consume the work that people have created, the work that people have poured their hearts into. So that's what we do at Momo Mouth. That's really, oh my gosh, I thought that was good. That's what we do at Momo Mouth, right? But also, what we also do, we had to take an ad break there. But another, so you're probably asking yourself, so where does the podcast feature into this whole thing? I also wanted to use this platform to sort of document people's lived experiences in being creatives in the townships, right? So that's what we want to do, is that we it's very hard to succeed in the townships as a creative, right? And I don't think it should be that way, because I really genuinely think that a lot of the times the reason why there's so much success in the city is because there are people like you, right? There's a plethora of people who are into the arts, who already probably do what it is that you do. And so there's already a blueprint, but also more than the blueprint, there's also information, and their resources as well. And so I that's that's what we're trying to solve, right? To say, let's come together as creators and forge our way forward. What is it that we can do to sort of kill this need to get out? I mean, absolutely, by all means, get out of the hood and go prosper elsewhere. But I think success, I don't think you should have to move out of your hometown for you to be successful, or for you to have at least already capitalized off your creativity, I think, or your creations, right? I hope it doesn't pick up the sound outside. But I felt, why can't you be successful already in, living in Soshanguve, living in Amanskraal, living in why can't you be successful already there? Why can't you be successful? You can be like, why is it that it's so hard for you as a DJ to, or as a painter, or as someone who does clothes, someone who does clothes, someone who does what is it, events planning and decor? Why is it that it's so hard for people to be successful where they are, and then have people then look to them and then discover them? Oh, there's this really cool, dope mamang from Kai who does this. You know what I mean? Like, and also, why is it that I find it very difficult to not only I find it very difficult to accept that it's hard for people to sustain themselves through their creativity, through their creations. Okay, they have to move out, like, because also I genuinely believe that there are consumers, there are people who are ready and willing to consume the art, to consume the work. I genuinely believe that. I've seen it. They might have a smaller budget, but I feel like that's okay. It's we work around it, and we also don't deprive the townships of these experiences, of going and seeing art and consuming art, whatever art form that could be, whether that's theater, whether that's just singers or DJs or whatever. Like, we constantly deprive our people of experiences that others have readily every day, every weekend, and it's not that there isn't a market. It's just because there is a barrier to entry in as far as commercializing, in as far as um, sustaining oneself and making money off the art form is concerned, then creatives are demotivated to continue forward and creating where they are. um yeah, and it's such a pity, because I have quite a lot of friends who are creatives. I have a friend who's a photographer, and he's doing really, really well. um but also because he has a community of people. He went to school for this, so he has a community of people whom he relies on for stuff, and they also do things together, and so it becomes easier that way, because then you don't just rely on your own knowledge, but also you rely on other people's experiences and network. There's a whole network that you tap into by just knowing something, just one other person who does what you do. You know there are so many people here who have clothing lines that I think are so dope, and but there seems to be I don't know, like a barrier. They're just not cracking in. Like, people aren't wearing the clothes, and I feel like it's not that people don't want the clothes. I think it's in the way they're communicating the brand. It's in the way. So it's in the way they communicate the brand. It's in the way that, yeah, you know what I mean. And so, if we could come together and help one another solve these problems, I genuinely think that we would be so much more successful. There's like a thought, like I think ultimately at Momo Mouth, what I'm trying to achieve is optimum living. Ooh, there's a fly. Mihlali, where is the doom? I should have just kept the doom here. Because what do you mean? And irresilient, like resilient, persistent, like inyanga honamol. But anyways, there's like a tattoo shop here that I feel like it could turn into something cute, something where art and creativity could just be our lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want, like, for art and creativity to be a lifestyle, and for people to have an outlet, even not as a creative and even not as a creator, but as just a consumer, to know that you can go to this, there are regular, I don't want to give away my ideas, but because again, that's what we want to do at Mouth, to help creatives propel forward, right, and help them communicate their brands better and communicate what is it that they do better, but also for them to help them explore other avenues as well. This tattooing thing, this clothing brand thing could simply be a lifestyle here where we live. It doesn't just have to be something that is acknowledged by other people outside, by other people externally. We could have our own thing here. We could have our own thing here. And so that's why we also have now services at Momo Mouth where we help people with their marketing, where we help people with their where we help people perform at their optimum in their business, right? So if it's customer service, how do we refine that? If it's, solving people's problems with regarding the business, how things get to the customer, the end product that gets to the customer, but also the experience within that. How do we refine that? Um, right? Also tapping into the bigger picture, right? Helping, well, in this case, clients, creatives see the bigger picture as to, it doesn't have to just be this. It could be so much more. It doesn't have to stop here. It could go on and 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 on. I tried to do the Erica Badu situation. This thing is not working, but I'm just gonna keep this for aesthetics. And the monitor is on, so I don't know what is going on. But yeah, so yeah, so what we do plan on doing from now going forward is we want to keep this platform going. We plan on sorry, we plan on interviewing your faves from around the hood, right? Your fave creatives, your fave brand owners, business owners within the arts, right? What is it that how, how is it that they are doing what they do? What barriers are they experiencing? What how they've overcome those, um, and what advice do they give to other people? Regarding these barriers that they've encountered, right? Sort of giving sprinkles of knowledge to people, but also demonopolizing the kasi arts industry. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like it's, well, at least from where I live, right? And you could have a different perspective, but I think it's so monopolized. Again, like I said, it's the same people who are going to make it because they have money. And for those who don't, and for those who don't know people with money, it's going to be a very big problem. Like things like, I had a problem with getting a venue for my event. And when I asked one other guy for information regarding this one specific venue, actually, I hadn't even asked him about that one specific venue. I just said to him, "Hey, I was wondering if you could help me. This is who I am. This is what I do, and I know you in the same industry. I just, well, was in the same industry. They're no longer in the same. They no longer do what I do. They don't anymore. So I was like, when you were doing what I'm doing now, how did you gain the success that you have come to achieve?" And they were like, "Oh, what's in it for me because I'm like, what? What happened to mentoring? What happened to just, like, you want to sell me information? Like, you want to sell me information?" And you know what? I could go and Google and talk about, and Google, but also Google is very, like, the information that you get there, a lot of the times, it's if you're not in the city, again, quiet. If you're not in the city, or in around those parts in town, it almost seems far-fetched. Not that it's not possible for oneself, but it almost seems unattainable. Or if not, if attainable, sorry, the programs or the avenues don't speak to the problems that we face here, right? Like, the very, like, again, the very little problems, such as something like getting a venue. Why is it so hard? Why, right? Why is it that people with venues, why, swala la la, why is it that people with venues don't advertise? Why is it that we don't see, why is it that they don't have social media pages? And why is it like, why is this whole thing under wraps? Why is it that you have to know people who know people for you to hire this venue, to hire that venue? It just seems so ridiculous to me, you know? And it also trumps the ecosystem, because now you are also so demotivated, because it's just like, you're getting a venue is that hard. Like, why is it this hard? Like, why should it be this hard? You know what I mean? And you also have to be so creative with solving certain problems, that I feel like, sure, and it's great that you are creative and it's great that you are innovative, but some things don't have to be so hard. Some things don't have to be as hard, to be honest. And so, yeah, I'm taking my experiences and my problems and my and the barriers that I've experienced, and I'm pouring them into the business. I'm pouring them into Momo Mouth to say, you don't have to go through what I've gone through, what I'm going through as a creative, for you to be successful as a creative. Guys, I went to this beautiful event here in Amanskral, and oh, what an amazing time. And we could have more of those if only we demonopolized the industry, if information was like so what's this, if information was readily available, if people were forthcoming with information, if the big dogs here, because we have people with money, we really really do, if they had the awareness that compelled them to do something, you know, to sponsor something, to do something. And I think we could really play a big role. And I think ultimately we're also trying to, again, turn this art thing, turn this creative thing into a lifestyle. Because for some of us, this is not a choice. You know, it bugs you every day. Why is it that you don't have a podcast? Why is it that you don't have a YouTube? Why is it that you don't do as much as you imagine? You know, it tugs at us, you know, and so hence why we do what we do. It fulfills us, you know. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that's essentially it. That's why we do what we do, and that's why these dogs bother me so much, and my mom hates them. I swear to you, if I did not care for animals, and if I were not a good person, if I were a complete sociopath, I would have killed them. Like, ke di tshelle maponyane and go botsona gore mongwe wa tsona a itse dilo tsa gae di a re tlapela. O utlwa ele gore setse ebile ke setse ke tlapile already. But anyways, oh my gosh, yeah, I think we've come to the end of it. I think I've covered what is it that I've wanted to say regarding explaining the genesis of Momo Mouth and the intentions behind it. Yeah, right. So that's what we want to do. We hope to grow in leaps and bounds, but expect your faves. We're going to be doing quite a lot of interviews with your faves. I'm hoping weekly. Do comment down below and tell me who you want to see. So if this is a tattoo artist, if this is like someone who owns a brand, you know, if this is somebody who I don't know, is like what is it, a shapeshifter. You know, if there's someone who whose work impacts other people creatively, um, do comment their names, and if you know their Instagram as well, do comment with their Instagram, email if you do know it, so that we can get them on here and talk about stuff, you know. Hopefully I would have figured this mic thing out because it's embarrassing, but you know what, for the aesthetics, I'm keeping it. Yeah. But my name is Mpakasana. This is Momo Mouth, and that has been quite a lovely chat. Until next time.